Hello everybody, it's February the 1st and this is where I'm at with the engine. I'm pretty much ready to start it. I have to get a new upper radiator hose and that's holding me back today, but this is it. It's all put back together. It's taken me a couple of months to take it apart and put it back together, and this is what it's looking like. A lot of the time was spent just cleaning and getting all this oil and grease off the engine and inside the engine compartment, but this is what we're looking like right now. Like I said, we're missing the upper radiator hose, and it goes from here right to the thermostat. And the reason why I'm not putting the original one back on is I discovered a weak spot in the hose, and I'll show that to you in a little bit. But here's the engine. It's looking pretty good. It's not a show car, not a restoration or anything, but I'm pretty happy with it. I've put new belts on and I've changed the intake manifold gaskets and the belt cover gaskets, thermostat gasket, water pump is changed. I had the radiator sent out to be cleaned, and it's put back together again. And new lower radiator hose, new heater hoses over there. They were probably all very, very old, and I'll show you there were some weak spots and deterioration in the hoses. And I've eliminated the air conditioner. It was never working, and I'll never use the air conditioning. I'm up in Canada, it doesn't get that hot, and when it gets hot enough, like over 30 degrees Celsius, I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, like 95 I guess. If it gets too hot, I'm not driving the car, but I like driving with the windows down and the sunroof open. So the air conditioner has been removed, and it looks so much cleaner without the compressor sitting right here in the middle. And a couple of the lines have been eliminated, but it's so much nicer in the engine compartment without the compressor there. And that's it. I'll show you the hoses. Okay, back at the workbench here. This is the upper radiator hose, and if you could imagine, it sits like that. If I could get the camera back far enough. So off to the left is where it sits on top of the thermostat on the engine block, and over here goes into the radiator. And when you flip this hose over, you could see that weak spot right over there, and that would have been hitting the air conditioner compressor. So any of you running Cadillac with the 472, 500, 425 engine, your upper radiator hose, it might look okay from the top side, but when you remove it and flip it over, you got to be careful on the bottom side, because this is what I found. If you can see that, that's ready to let go on me at any time. So I got a new hose coming. It will be here tomorrow, and that's the upper radiator hose. The lower radiator hose, I've replaced it, but here's the old one. And let me show you. So the lower radiator hose, this part here attaches to the water pump, and this part here I've cut off the end here, but that goes to the lower radiator. And in the corner here, the hose hits the frame, and if you could see that, and again, another weak spot in the hose. So when it's in the car and you're looking at it, I even had the tags on the hose, so looking at it, you think, oh, it's a new hose. It still has the tag on it, but you don't know until you take it off. And this part here was hitting the frame, and it's created a weak spot in the hose. So that's been replaced. The heater hoses, have been changed out as well. Part of the heater hose, and it looks fine on the outside. You know, that looks okay on the outside, that little section of it. But when you open it up, look at that. You can see the rubber has deteriorated, and again, another weak spot and another potential source for coolant to leak out. And this stuff usually happens when you least expect it. Heater hose lets go, or the radiator hose lets go, and car overheats, and well, that kind of screws you up for the day. The air cleaner assembly, I've cleaned it up and put a coat of paint on it, so that will look nice when it goes on the car. Those are the old radiator hoses. This is the alternator belt. The one I had on before was a 7380, and it was a little bit too big. And this one is one size down. It's a 7370 for the alternator, and it's a tighter fit, but it will, as the belt stretches, it will give me room for adjustment on the alternator. And that is it. As you can see, I just work inside a shipping container. That's my shop. The car barely fits in, it's uptight. On the one side, it's really tight, and that gives me, I guess, about 6 inches or maybe 7 inches to squeeze by on the other side. And for those wondering how I get in, yeah, I gotta climb in through the window. Not a big deal. But that's it. At the next video I put together, the car will be running, and that might be maybe this weekend or maybe next week. See how I feel, and hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching.